Yes, this is another Pursuing God's Heart and looking at Galatians. And it's an interesting little paragraph that is, I think, really relevant for us. Let me read it to you. Chapter 5, verses 13 to 15. For you were called to freedom, brothers, only do not use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another. For the whole law is fulfilled in one word: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. But if you bite and devour one another, watch out that you are not consumed by one another. So in the flow of Galatians, the kind of whole argument of Galatians is that these people shouldn't allow themselves to be brought under a yoke of slavery, like it says in 5 verse 1, to not go back, not to add law to grace, not to add old covenant on top of new covenant. And so all the way through the letter to the Galatians, Paul's been saying to them, he's been pleading with them, saying, come on, it's about your relationship with God your Father through the Son, the promised Spirit that you've received. It's a new covenant, inside out reality. That's what the gospel is. And it doesn't make sense, having started by faith, to then add on a whole load of pressure and a whole load of sort of legalistic duties and burdens that are going to just trap you and corrupt the faith that you have. And so he's been talking about that or writing about that for a couple of chapters. And at this point, he says, you were called to freedom. And that just jumped off the page. At the moment, we all feel like we're under house arrest. And actually it's for our own good. It's, it makes sense and all that kind of stuff. But actually we are the freest people on earth. We're free. We're free, even though we are restrained or constrained in this way. And even if we were to be put in prison, you could put a Christian in a prison cell. That person is still freer than anybody else who doesn't know Christ. But he says, here's the thing: use your freedom as an opportunity, not for the flesh, but to serve. And I suppose I've sort of noticed just a blitz of stuff on YouTube and on social media, and there's a contrast between those who are wanting to serve others, looking for opportunities to serve. And if there's literally nothing you can do to serve somebody else, you can pray for them. And so a ministry of intercessory prayer would be completely appropriate at this time, praying for our church leaders, for our national leaders, for our neighbors, for vulnerable people and so on. But practically there are things that we can be doing as well. And so this freedom that we have in Christ is an opportunity to serve others, not to serve our own flesh. And it would be easy, wouldn't it? Especially for those, I'm just thinking now of, especially, let me just be really specific, men who normally would be working 9 to 5 or more, plus commute time and the pressures of family life and so on. And suddenly you're home for the whole day, and you feel that kind of impulse to get some space from family. This is a real opportunity to serve the flesh, isn't it? To kind of indulge fleshly desires. Let's not do that. Let's look for the opportunities to serve our neighbors within the household, that is our family, those around us, those in our church. And I don't know, just seems kind of relevant. Verse 15, if you bite and devour one another. Paul knew that if they were in this letter to the Galatians, if they were caught up in a sort of legalistic duty, burden, pressure kind of spirituality, he knew the fruit of that would be biting and devouring and criticizing and going after people and so on. Let's be careful with social media. It's very easy when you're frustrated, when you're tense, when you're stressed. It's very easy just to kind of lash out through your thumbs, just to criticize, just to tear down. Let's not do that. Now's the time for us to really serve one another through love, to really allow the savor of Christ to enrich our lives, our ministries, even while we're restricted and stuck at home. This freedom that we have in Christ is an opportunity through love to serve others. Thank you.